Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Here we are with Renee Tainter, my beautiful friend. She is living in Henderson, Nevada. And well, many of you already know me. I am Dora, and I do sound healing. I do um, quantum healing also, like clearing the Akash. I do uh, healing quantum womb healing sessions. It is part of what I do also. I do readings. I do different things. And many of you are familiar with all the stuff that I do. But I'm going to see what Renee Taintor has to tell us about her. Who is she? What does she do? Welcome, Renee.
Hi, thank you, Dora. So I teach what I call the energy game, and we were thinking we might talk a little bit about that. It's something that everybody does, and it has to do with the energy that you generate, because we generate energy all the time. But what kind of energy do you generate? How does it make you feel? How does it set you up for your day or your life? So that's what I do. And so, what did you want to talk about today?
Well, how did you get into this energy game?
Well, I was a flight attendant, and in the early days, I would be really in a good mood, get to work, and wonder why I was triggered. Had nothing to do with the sea of humanity that we live in. Actually, has everything to do with that. So I just basically took the law, ask and you receive, and I started asking for help on how to see humanity so that I wouldn't get triggered. And that's kind of how it started. And it was a long process. So, like 5, 6, 7 years. Because it's, you know, accepting your humanity, accepting my humanity, and then accepting your divinity and accepting mine. And it's very powerful and it's a simple concept. It's not easy because you're facing your reactive mind, which are usually negative thoughts.
Okay, how was back then your reactive mind?
Well,
How would
mostly,
you describe that reactive mind?
so the reactive mind, you can call it the ego mind, the human mind, the reactive mind is what I found is that it actually seeks you out because you don't wake up in the morning and say, I think I'm going to be really depressed right now. I haven't been depressed in a while. You don't do that. You don't say, well, I think I'm going to be mad right now. You can't just generate that. Something has to trigger it. So something does trigger it, either a thought, a memory, a person, an event, something you see. If you start to get triggered, your reactive mind shows up in your face with all these reactive thoughts. And like in a nanosecond, you have aligned with one or two and agreed with it. And now you are generating the energy that corresponds with that. And you're not even aware of it. So that's why I call, if you're in your reactive mind, you're a reactive creator. You're creating by reacting to the thoughts in your head or the situation outside of you. And you're kind of not in control when you're feeling negative emotions, I have discovered. Because anything negative comes from the reactive mind. The rest of it comes from your heart, the heart mind. The heart actually does have a consciousness.
That's interesting what you're saying, and I totally agree with it because a few days ago it occurred to me to think to express my feelings to someone, and I said, I love you, I love us and I love me. And they laugh. If that would have happened to me a few years ago, I could have been very reactive, like, what are you doing? Or what are you thinking? You don't believe me or anything. But I just
You disengaged.
disengage. Yes, exactly. And I thought, okay, we are not sharing the same feelings. And I said something very interesting that you are saying right now. I said, from my mind, I have made so many mistakes, but I now know that my heart hasn't done any mistake.
That's beautiful, Dora, because that's true. I hadn't thought of it that way, and I've been doing this for a long time. I think that's beautiful because the heart is going to have comforting thoughts, help guide you, lead, help you out of your confusion or whatever. Because it's your heart is where you're connecting to God. That's your connection to God.
And actually, it is now we know because of that heart coherence that the scientists have been studying that it is a very powerful electromagnetic generates a powerful electromagnetic field
It
and
creates a huge,
amplifies
right? It amplifies,
everything.
and it's the heart that does that. But then you partner with your heart, you align with it, and then you're in that flow. That's kind of like the miraculous thing. You're in the flow of that heart where the love and light, guidance, comfort, insights, breadcrumbs to do your life, wisdom. You're in that flow. It's way different than being in the flow of the reactive mind.
Yes, and besides that is what we are creating is what is called now mind heart coherence. And we think as we speak, and we speak and we do as we speak. So it starts creating that ripple of energy that is coherent.
And the cool thing is that, if you're in your reactive mind, it's really hard to get out of it unless you know you're in your reactive mind. And a lot of people get going in those thoughts, and it could be days, weeks, months, and years that you're in that, reactive mind that just keeps feeding you the thought.
What I have been telling some of these beautiful women that I am doing 30 days of living in gratitude, I told them that we have been addicted to pain. We have been addicted to negative thinking. We have been addicted to all that feelings that have been painful, that have been sad, that have been frustrated or frustration feelings of frustration, right? And it is like an addiction. We want more of the same unconsciously.
Or we don't want it, but we don't know how to get out of it, and we're so used to it that you get to a point where then you say, well, this is me, because this has always been me, and they don't know they have another choice. And
Exactly.
that's you have to know that you're a creator. You have to know, you can't doubt that.
But we don't accept it. Why do you think we don't believe we are creators, powerful
I
creators?
think for one, we we experience that we don't have much power to do things. And when you're in the reactive mind, you're not using the strength from your heart, the wisdom. So you're trying to figure everything out with a finite mind. when you have access to the infinite, that when you're in your heart, you are in your flow, so that your wisdom comes to you. And what I noticed when you were saying that when you disengaged in that example you just gave, you said, no, I'm not going to go there. And immediately you had thoughts from your heart. I love you, I love us, I love what we're doing. And that's,
I
you
love that.
switch from the reactive mind, you go right into your heart, and bam, you have the words that you need. You don't have to think about it. It's a natural process. It's a first nature. You connect there. Honestly, you'll be surprised how thoughts and feelings and stuff and little actions that you need to do, like, the example I gave to you of when the lady dropped her groceries after I put mine in the car. I look up and this little lady had dropped her groceries, a grocery bag, across from the parking lot. And so I grabbed another bag, and I was over there before I even knew what I was doing. I mean, I didn't lean up against the car and say,
Poor
oh,
lady.
yeah, poor lady, should I help her? I mean, there was no analyzing, ruminating about it. There was none of that. It was like my heart came out of my chest and led me across the way like that. And when you're in your heart, it also led me into, hi, how are you? Boy, do you look cute. I love your little hat, or whatever. You get led. It's like being in that flow is living in that love. It's living in God's love. It, and being guided by it, and being fed by it, and being, helped, nurtured, everything. It's kind of a miraculous thing.
That is beautiful. Yes.
And you've experienced it. I know you have.
Yeah.
You did in that example I gave you, but even that can be so first nature that you're not thinking, wow, I'm in the flow right now.
No.
Because
You just feel it. You just feel it.
you're just being it. You're being it.
Yes. Yes. So, what would you suggest to people to get into that flow of energy that it is not reactive when something happens to them?
I think it's important that you cultivate the connection in your heart. Seek it out. Ask for help. Because ask and you receive is a very powerful law of the universe. I mean, you can ask all day long for any of the tiniest thing. Ask and you receive. It's not ask and then maybe you'll receive.
Yes.
Ask and you do receive. So ask for help to cultivate your heart, and go into your heart and look for the thoughts that love you and support you. And like when I did this a long time ago, I thought, there's kind of not very many thoughts in there. I needed to add thoughts to that. So I would recommend write down the things that like, I have a good heart. I appreciate that I have a good heart. I'm always nice and caring, giving. Things that are going to pop up in your mind when you need them, just like the reactive mind pops up thoughts. So go in there and cultivate that divine mindset, and get the thoughts from God. Ask for help. Like, here's an example. Like, you're having a rough day, and you're just tired or whatever. Just name some things, and you just need something. Well, if you just connect to your heart, you're gonna hear stuff like, yeah, it has been a rough day, but you're doing really good. You're doing really good. This is part of your flow. The flow ebbs and flows. It goes up and down, and like that. And so maybe we should just do the rest of your errands later, go home, have a cup of tea, something. You're going to get that loving voice is going to be your voice helping you, instead of over here going, oh my, is there a learning curve for this girl? You know, instead of the negative stuff, there's the positives. You need to know that you're either a reactive creator or you're a conscious creator. And you want to be a conscious creator, because then you're in the love and your life is working a lot better. And then you're part of your own solution. And I think part of the solution of the world, because you're not taking those trains of negative thought from another person and turning them around and sending them back out in the universe. Like if someone said, well, I actually ran into somebody at the airport one time. We kind of both ran into each other, and he said, you know, watch where you're going. And that was the first time I disengaged from the reactive mind. And so I just went into my mind, my heart, because I didn't want to react, because this was a thought train coming towards me, a negative one, and I wanted to stop it cold. But then I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Are you okay? Well, I was surprised because I didn't expect that to come out of me. And he was surprised too, because he was in a battle. Because that's what happens in the energy game. When you carry on with negative thoughts, you're going to feel like you have to fight back with the same energy, because that's what the energy game is. And it's win-lose. You know, you say something, he says something. You say something, he says something. Till it ends. And it's usually one person wins, the other person loses. But in reality, you both lose because you carried on with a negative thought process. So, to answer your question again, you want to cultivate a lot of positive, what I call God thoughts, because they're actually higher in vibration and they feed you every time. It's like the negative thoughts in the reactive mind mess you up every time, make you feel bad every time, shame and guilt and anxiety and hopelessness every time. Well, over here on this side with the heart, it's way different. It's the light. Over here, it's kind of dark over here. So cultivate that, write them down and repeat them so that you're rooting them inside of you, so that next time you have a problem, these good ones will come up, because you want to partner with your heart and you ask for help doing it.
Yes, for when I started, it was very hard for me to disengage because we always want to win. But I don't remember who was saying this: to fight, we need two parts.
Right.
Many times I have been called like I am a dummy person.
A what person?
Dummy.
I would never call you dummy, my friend.
I don't engage.
Oh,
I don't usually engage. I have done it. I cannot deny it, but I don't usually do it.
Right.
And it is not that I feel like losing. It is like the feeling of them winning, but bringing me to the place, if I engage, to the place where they are. And
Right.
I think,
You don't think of that. You think, I have to win. You being attacked, if somebody attacks you, you feel like you want to defend yourself. And so you pull out your pet thoughts, to back them down, teach them a lesson, get the last word.
yes, but actually I don't feel that I am losing or giving them a speech or something, anything like that. I just feel that I don't want to be in that place
Right.
because that place doesn't feel good either.
It doesn't feel good. That's right.
So I think, okay, if he calls me this or she, whoever it is, I don't want to have the feeling of rage.
Any
I
of those
don't
negative.
like that feeling in
Right.
myself. And lately I have been having the feeling of being at peace with myself, of being content with my life, with my experiences. Sometimes they are very turbulent, but I just flow. I just go with whatever it is. I am not against it, and I don't feel like I am conforming, but I don't want to fight it either because it is not me. I don't feel good after.
Right.
Or
And during. So,
pushing too much or engaging too much with that idea of winning or getting something by force. I don't like it. So I try to navigate that situations, even if they are very beautiful or if they are at the lowest or have brought me to the lowest. Okay, but I came to do something else than staying here in this place
right.
that I don't like the feeling in myself. And I thought, okay, what do I do now? Sometimes I am on my knees crying. Sometimes I am like very joyful. Oh God, I feel really good. But when I feel also down, I try to remember as much as I possibly can at that very moment how good I have felt in some other situations in order for me not to engage or stay there,
Right.
right?
So
And
you know how to tell when you're in the reactive mind, right?
yes, yes, because I feel like constricted. My body feels tight. I I can do this. Oh God, I don't like how I feel. And I start moving. Now I have learned that. Or shaking. I start shaking. Okay. And I breathe. Oh my God. Breathing is for me a very powerful tool.
It is
I
powerful.
don't have to think. I don't have to do much. I just breathe deeply. Like that little, I don't remember who does that, but maybe the little dogs when they are running a lot. It's kind of the sensation it seems to me I get like, okay, I'm done, but I don't want this. Let it go. And I have learned to shake my body. Lately, I have been writing, but most of it, my breathing, engaging with my breathing, because if I engage with my breath, I pay attention to my breath and I don't have the time to think. I don't have the time to react. I am just feeling my breath going in and going out, going in, going out. And somehow I start thinking some other thing.
Well, if you are consciously breathing, you can't be in the future or the past. If you're conscious of your breath, you're staying in the present moment, which is a good place to be. So, and I tell people that the way you tell when you're in the active mind is like you said, your body feels tense. You can have a tiny little bit of tension. For example, if you're late going somewhere, your body begins to fill up with that tension. And so if you can be like stay in the present moment and mosey everywhere, and even if you're late, you can still get in your car, mosey in your car because you keep that tension and stuff away from you. But anytime that you're feeling negative emotions, you're in your reactive mind and you are not in the driver's seat of your life.
Yeah,
not.
something else takes control.
Because of like attracts like is a law of the universe. If you hold on to those thoughts in the reactive mind long enough, other thoughts will come and support it like crazy. But the same thing works with the heart mind. You hold some good positive thoughts. Here's an example. The first time I tried it, I was populating my heart mind. I wanted to put good thoughts in there. So I said, okay, the first one I'm going to do is God is omnipresent. So I just held on to that thought for a minute. And the next thought that came was, wow, that means everywhere present at once. And the third thought came, that means God fills all space. And then the fourth thought was like in the whole universe. And then the last thought I got was, wow, that means wherever you rest your eyes, you see God. Wow. So God thoughts will feed you and they expand. The same with the reactive mind thoughts. They'll just keep getting you deeper and deeper and deeper into that negative energy. But the God thoughts will get you higher and higher and higher into the light and into the love. And that's where your solutions stuff come
You
from.
would say that you said cultivate that thoughts. How often you have to do that for a person who is just starting this transformation?
Well, I wrote mine down. I actually wrote all the bad thoughts down, put them in little, cut them up, put them in little, folded them up and burned them. And then I took all the good thoughts, folded them up, and I slept with them under my pillow. But I had to read them over and over. I read them every day, sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day, till they got familiar, till I till till it filled me up. So, and then I don't have to do that anymore because they're so anchored in me that when I need them, they come up. Like when if something happens to me, I say, this is happening for me, not to me. Because that's a God thought. And then that will keep me from being reactive, like, oh, great, now this happened. So I'd say, this is happening for me, not to me. There's a divine purpose for this. And all my solutions unfold in front of me in divine timing. And that keeps me, at first, it puts me in the flow if I'm not in it. And it keeps me there. And so now it's like first nature. It's like when I ran across to help that lady with her groceries. The heart was so like alive and active in me, and that I had been partnering with it for so long, I became my heart. So it's an automatic, quiet, you're doing good, let's just see, what is my next step? What do
I
I
like
do next?
that.
And then what do I do after that? And it's a beautiful way to live because you're a creator no matter what you are. You're going to create either reactively or consciously. And those are the two choices. And you're going to see that creating consciously is the big picture living. And creating in the reactive mind is little picture living.
You would say that this could be like a reset for our mind,
A what?
a reset,
A reset.
reset, reset.
Well, yes. Well, actually, you're dividing the two so that you have to you either have to choose one or the other, because you're becoming conscious that you're not always in your heart mind, and you're becoming conscious that sometimes you're in your reactive mind and you don't know it. And it can be really subtle. We talked about that one time. You can
Yes.
be in it and you're so used to it, it's so familiar to you that you don't think it's your reactive mind. You say, this is me. This is how I am. This is how it is with me. When you could be in the light instead.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What I mean is like writing down
Right.
everything.
Write down your thoughts, like what I just said to you. This is happening for me, not to me. That's in my list. Everything that happens to me, there's a divine purpose. That's in my list. All my solutions unfold in front of me. That I use every day. 'Cause you always need a solution, always. So there it is. And then I love nature. I appreciate nature. I'm grateful for the things in my life. Grateful for another day. I'm grateful for the food on my table. There's ask spirit to help you, and you will fill up your divine mindset, your heart mindset.
Yes. So writing all of that is what that was the question. Writing all of that or something similar would be like a reset for our mind,
Yes,
right?
yes. Building the heart mind and putting less significance on the reactive mind. Less significance. Like you said, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. And then that's when you said, I love me, I love you. So that was your heart mind instantly expressing.
Yes.
So I think that's pretty awesome.
And I just love it because I am not used to, or I wasn't, and much less to say it in Spanish. It's like a taboo to say te amo, me amo. What? What? But now I am getting used to do it, but not only
Yes.
doing it, but neither saying it, but feeling it. So as I think, I say it, and I do it. As
And
I
so
do
where
it,
is that being generated from?
yes. Sorry?
Where is that being generated from?
Here, here.
And
I
so,
feel called to do it, and I
yes.
do it. Mhm.
And,
But it
and
seems
so,
to me that it is everything connected, that mind heart coherence, because
yes.
I can say it, I think it, and I feel it. So I feel free to express it now. I couldn't before.
I know, and you're doing a lot of things you didn't do before.
Yes.
And your heart mindset is expanding. And I like what you said about the mind heart brain heart coherence.
Mind heart coherence.
Mind heart coherence, because if you're in your reactive mind and then you choose the heart, you're kind of zipping over to the other side of your mind. And then now your mind and heart are in coherence. They weren't in coherence before when you were in your reactive mind.
No, because I felt weird.
Yeah.
So the heart wasn't aligned to the mind, or vice versa. The mind wasn't aligned with the heart because I was feeling something, but I couldn't speak it out loud. I felt weird. Yes, I was feeling something, but somehow, like it wasn't well engraved in myself.
So maybe was that where you were in your reactive mind and then your heart was telling you something, but it wasn't in coherence? Is that make
Something was off.
something
Something was off. Something wasn't aligned, either
right?
the mind or the heart. They
Right.
were not coherent. They were not aligned.
I
Now I
think
have
what
been noticing that, but now, okay, I say it because I think it, and I feel it. I truly feel it.
right.
Mm.
Well, because your heart is never off. Your
Well,
heart is God is where God is. So
but it seems to me for all the,
if your mind is off, then you're not going to have the coherence. If your mind is in alignment, in coherence with the heart, now you're in alignment.
it seems to me that yes, the heart is the seat of God, or
Yeah,
there is the divine mind, right? But what it happens is like it has been hardened by all the pain that we have experienced in life. So that it has have or had several layers that we have been, or at least I have been peeling off in order for me to feel fully and completely, or allow myself to feel everything. So if it is good, beautiful. If it is not that good, it is not that beautiful, but I don't feel that constriction anymore.
right. You
Or
allow yourself to feel it.
yes, or if I feel it, I just breathe and I tell myself that I am safe.
That's important.
Yes, because before I was feeling very unsafe to speak, to say things that
Right.
were coming from here. But since it had that layer on top of it or all around it, it couldn't express itself openly. It was fearful to be rejected. It was fearful to be denied or to be refused or just bullied, right?
You know, I just got that when you were describing that, the heart and then being surrounded. I think if you've had a lot of reactive mind experience, then it does affect the heart. I mean, we know that it does affect the heart. And so, in order to get that heart back to being in coherence, you got to feed it. You got to feed it with those God thoughts, because the God thoughts have a way higher vibration than the thoughts in the reactive mind.
Where I
They're full of
listen,
life and light and love. And the reactive mind thoughts are like rob you of your life force.
yes, yes. What I was listening, I don't remember, maybe a few days ago, is that we have to treat the heart like a baby that has been crying, and we want to comfort them.
Yes.
And we may not be allowing to treat ourselves or the heart less than a baby in pain.
Right. And that's ourselves. And you're saying the heart, but you mean
Yes,
yourself.
yes, yes,
We had to do that in the beginning, start really talking to ourselves differently and being the comfort of our own selves.
yes. And that has been a very um, difficult way of being for all of us, because we have been used to be mistreated, to be in pain, that it is so hard for us to start talking talking to us lovingly, compassionately,
And
right?
that's how we started. We started loving ourselves, becoming more understanding and patient and compassionate.
Yes,
So, and that's a process. I remember that years ago, they're saying you have to stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you. Well, I didn't have anything come out of my mouth. I kept saying, I know I need to do this. So I did, but it sounded so fake.
it sounds fake,
It does,
but
because I said, are you lying to me?
well, because we are not used to talk to ourselves.
Exactly. Not like that. We're so used to the thoughts from the reactive mind. Oh my gosh, you did it again. We'll never learn what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh my God. Well, this is a very beautiful talk, little talk, and I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you, Renee, for your
Thank you, Dora.
wisdom, for sharing with me and all of us your beautiful wisdom. Thank you, thank
Thank
you,
you, my
thank you.
beautiful friend.
And I hope this is not the last time. Thank you.
Okay.
And
You
see
too.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.